Haha, not just yet. You're going to get to see the pool in just a minute. In this video, we're going to look and see how this pool has lasted over 3 years with hundreds of people using it, including myself. Norm and I are going to take a tour around the 2 main filtering systems and show you what you can learn from their mistakes and see how they've lasted over that time. Plus, at the end of this video, you're going to find out how you, no matter your experience, can have one of these beautiful oases in your own backyard. All right, let's go. Hello Thriver, and welcome to this very special video with Norm van Hoff, as you all know, the amazing designer and creator of this modern natural pool. So it's been 3.5 years since we first did that video. It's had almost 1 million views and lots of people contacting. How has the pool been in the last 3.5 years?
Pool's been reliably awesome. It's been really good. Major asset for the business. Super fun to have to swim in. It's been, I'll say at least as trouble-free as a chemical pool. There's been very little disruption or difficulty. It's been great. It's been lovely.
It's amazing. And you just mentioned to me a little bit before about you've just recently built a sauna and you've noticed something different about what it means to have a natural pool.
The biggest moment for me in these last few years, apart from when we first commissioned the pool and it was great to swim in natural water, then you get used to it, just becomes normal. And then when we built the sauna recently, I noticed, coming out of the sauna into the pool at night to cool down and thinking with the water up here, thinking if I was smelling chlorine now, it would really take a lot of the gloss off this experience. It just wouldn't be the same. So that's been a bit of a big one recently, just to be able to come out of a wood-fired sauna into natural water where you don't feel like you're soaking up chlorine or breathing chlorine. It's the whole experience is really lovely, whereas it would be interrupted and not as pleasant if it was a conventional pool.
Yeah, amazing. I've experienced that. I've been in the sauna and jumped in the pool at night time. Oh my gosh, it's so nice. A natural pool next to a wood-fired sauna is bliss in heaven. Norm van Hoff, you are brilliant. You get hundreds and hundreds of guests here. What's been the general consensus of having this natural pool?
Everybody loves it. That's pretty unequivocal. I can't think of anybody who's been nervous or critical or whatever. Everybody's loved it. I think if I was thinking about the most common comment people have made, it's that it feels like they're swimming in a freshwater creek, which is awesome. It's exactly what we want.
Exactly. Having that just here is just amazing. And in that video that we did, we talked about your 2 main systems of the pool. So let's get up and show everyone and share a little bit about the main sort of learnings you've had in these 2 systems. But let's get up and have a look around the pool. All right, Norm, so the waterfall system. What's been the biggest learnings that you've had on the waterfall system since building it 3.5 years ago?
We've just taken this whole thing apart for the first time in 3.5 years, meaning we took the gravel and the plants out. We cleaned everything up and put the gravel and the plants back in. So there's a couple of things we've learned, given that this was our first pool, One is the bigger plants, like the papyrus behind me there. Over time, they develop a root system that's really so large that it starts to block up all the gravels and the gravel doesn't get a chance to filter anymore. So we're going back to smaller plants in the waterfall here, and I guess avoiding the very large ones. So that is something that we've learned recently. You see how sparse everything is now. This was all so overgrown up until very recently when you couldn't see the waterfalls. And the other thing is, in this particular case, the dividing wall between the gravels and the waterfalls needs to be 7 or 8 centimetres higher. We could use a smaller pump. You can see that it's overwhelming. We're supposed to be coming from underneath. But this is the smallest pool pump that we've been able to find on the market, and it also creates these nice waterfalls. So rather than reduce the flows, we're just going to raise these walls a little bit to force more water to go down and then back up through the gravels and down and back up through the gravels. And this hasn't really kicked off yet in the sense of ecosystem services. You know, we've just put the new gravels in, we've just put the new plants in, so of course they haven't had a chance to go much of a root system yet. But overall, this is genius. It's working really, really well. Even given the difficult conditions with the roots blocking up the gravels over this last year or so, everything just kept working, so it's quite robust. I think that's a really important point. The system shouldn't be so sensitive that a little disturbance here or there breaks it. You know?
Yeah.
So what we found is it's very robust over this time, regardless of what's happening, how many people in the pool, how much rain we have, plants blocking up to the newer gravels, and so on. So that's been really important to notice that, yeah, okay, it's not exactly working as designed, but it's working well enough that the pool's clear and clean. So that's awesome.
Exactly. Awesome. And now the wetlands over there, what has been changed? I think people might notice that from the very first video you had vetiver grass in there, and now we've got papyrus. What's been sort of one of the biggest lessons that you've had for the wetlands?
We were surprised at first that other wetland plants didn't do well here, and in the end we decided it's because the nutrient levels are so low. On the other hand, papyrus has done really, really well. The vetiver didn't love it. We had it on rafts, which is always a little bit harder to manage. And again, I think the very low nutrient levels just didn't suit it. Or maybe we just weren't willing to muck around anymore with the raft. So we got rid of all that, and we just found that papyrus was growing so well that it became the dominant plant in there. But again, it's grown so well that we now imagine underneath all of there, the root masses are too big. And we really need to do what we've done in the waterfall here and take everything out, clean it up, and replant with smaller plants. Probably still stick with papyrus because it's so big and vigorous and good at harvesting nutrients, and also because it provides such excellent habitat for immature fish, little baby ones to hide in there, so the predators are in the swimming pool don't eat them. So I think the habitat side of things has been important. And again, this is not functioning as designed by now. 3.5 years in, we know that not enough water is travelling down through the gravels because of the papyrus roots, but everything's still functioning, so it's been pretty robust.
All right, let's go and tell everyone about the exciting surprise. So there's been so much demand for people finding out and wanting to know how to build this modern natural pool. Norm has had so many inquiries. And after about a year of this, we sat down and said, how can we help the most amount of people with, you've only got a limited amount of time. And so together we built the online masterclass course on how to build a modern natural pool. And I know, I can tell you this, Norm put a lot of thought and effort into providing you everything that you need so that you can help create this magical oasis in your very own backyard. And so not only that, Norm's inside there answering your comments and questions. So creating a concept like this in your own backyard, a lot of people might be intimidated by that. How does the online masterclass course that we've put together help people in a step-by-step sort of simplified way?
The fundamental benefit, I think, of the course is that it emphasizes, it kind of distills everything down to 5 basic principles. And so if you make the commitment to, understand those 5 basic things, this is not rocket science, it's oxygen circulation and stuff, then the course will equip you to be able to cooperate or design for yourself a pool, either cooperate with a designer or do it yourself, and then to supervise the construction, to understand what's happening well enough so that you know that the whole thing's going to function in the end. Swimming pools are not brain surgery in general, but we generally don't engage much. We bring in a pool contractor and, build me a pool. There it is, go and do that. And we learn just the basics of how to manage it. So the idea of the course is to explain to you what you need to think about in design and then what you need to keep an eye on during construction so that the whole thing will work. It's not as big a deal as you would think, but of course there are some things that need to be understood. So it's really about getting you to buy into, to understand that it really is possible to have a natural pool wherever your climate is, and what the principles are that allow you to make that happen.
Yeah, amazing. And if I can add to that, there's also designs of each of the systems, there's case studies, there's also checklists, all that information that will really help guide you in that whole process. So what's the biggest mistake people make if they try and do this on their own, that the course helps you sort of prevent that?
I'd worked quite a lot with water, and I waited years before I built this pool, looking for something on the internet, a design somewhere, a paper, anything, a design that I could use, and I could never find anything that satisfied all the basic criteria for his. So I eventually designed it myself, but that was based on a pretty reasonable understanding of how water works and how pumps and piping and concrete and construction issues and natural systems work. So, this is essentially a little ecosystem, and we can't possibly understand the complexities of an ecosystem, but we can understand the fundamentals that allow an ecosystem to develop. So what's the biggest mistake? I would say underestimating the need to engage with nature. Is that a mistake? I think any other mistakes? Modifying the designs without understanding perhaps what you're doing, or perhaps getting caught up in some notion of an aesthetic or something, making things too complicated. We have a client down here, down the road, who's doing a very small pool built into a very small semi-detached house. It's going to be brilliant, but he's made it very, very complicated, and so it's taken a long time to create this thing. And once it's commissioned soon, I should think we'll get some photos and video, because I think it's going to be awesome. But it was like, oh, wouldn't it be great if we had more waterfalls over there? Let's do that. And of course, everything adds complexity.
In a summary, you're saying that inside the course, you've simplified the fundamentals so that you can build and create around those fundamentals. And then if you stick to those fundamentals, your pool should work.
Yeah, and I think I want to keep emphasizing exactly what you just said is true. Engage with those fundamental principles, like allow a part of your brain to get involved in something that's in your backyards, in your lifestyle, same as your gardens or the way you manage your house. Open a little bit of space for being involved, rather than just having a pool out in the backyard that some guy comes along and services for you. Even if some guy is servicing for you, like he is for us, remain engaged. It's nice actually to be engaged with a natural pool or an organic garden or whatever. Maybe in your bathroom you've started using natural soaps and such like. So it's a slightly different headset, being a little bit involved, going, oh, what's in this? Oh, that's awesome. So yeah, I'd say that it changes your lifestyle a little bit. It brings things in a bit more to your life than just oh, I've got a swimming pool and someone takes care of it for me.
Yeah. So in terms of cost, some people may be concerned in the investment of a natural pool. What's your thoughts on that?
Every swimming pool is a big investment. That's the first thing. So let's just accept it's a big investment. To make curved shapes is more expensive than to do rectangles and squares. So, which is why we do so many rectangles and squares. So the construction is going to cost you some more, depending on how curvy you decide to make your pool. If you buy one of our designs, they're always curvier than a rectangle or a square, because that's important, as you discover if you take the course. So the cost of construction is higher. I'm going to say, plus the treatment systems cost money. You don't have any fancy equipment in the pool, the pump room, so that saves money. Overall, I give you an estimate that's perhaps 20 or 25% more to build one of these than a conventional rectangular swimming pool.
And I would invite you to think about, what is your investment in the future of the planet as well? Yes, we're paying about 20% more probably for your fruit and veggies as organic at the moment. Hopefully that does eventually change. But having that investment now is also saving you money potentially on chemical damage if you had a chlorine pool, on your own health and systems. Some may be worried about the ongoing maintenance of a modern natural pool. How does the online masterclass course help people make that a low maintenance and ultimately sustainable?
A little bit the same as what I said before, that having done the course, you will have engaged sufficiently with those 5 basics so that you understand how the thing works. And so each day as you come and have a cup of coffee in the morning, you look at the pool, you notice things. It'll tell you everything you need to know, from if something starts to go wrong to just day to day, keeping it in perfect condition all the time. It's not very difficult, and it's not very time consuming. But again, just understand the way these things work.
Yeah, and like you said, following those 5 principles should give you a limited need for maintenance. There'll be some general maintenance, of course, but yeah, the course goes through that. And ultimately, at the end of the day, Norm is at the other end in a comment. If you have a question, if something happens, he's there to be able to answer and guide you along the way. So that is always nice to know that you're there to help them along the way. So who is this online masterclass course for?
Short answer is anybody who's decided to commit to having a swimming pool, but doesn't want a chlorine pool or a saltwater pool, which, if you don't know, is also a chlorine pool. Or the other alternative I should mention is those things with the electrodes in the water. Anything that, if you're ready to have a swimming pool that doesn't try to sterilize the water in order to be healthy, but which takes a completely different approach, which says if we can create healthy living water, that's a healthier environment for us to swim and recreate in. So if you're ready for that, and you're just ready to build a swimming pool, which is not sort of a construction job, it's something to be taken seriously. But yeah, if you're either living that kind of life of reducing toxic chemicals, or you want to embrace that life where you're reducing the toxic stuff in your life, yeah, definitely this is for you, because honestly, I can't imagine why anybody would not do this. It's just become such a habit, it's so ingrained that it generates fear when you've got to, well, you could convert that, or you could build a business. But the only things I've ever seen are chemical pools. And it just freaks people out, I think, a bit. Oh my God, it's such a big thing. What if it doesn't work?
Yeah.
So.
Well, you've now proven that after 3.5 years, this pool is still divine. I literally swam in it 12 hours ago. It's absolutely beautiful.
We were saunaing, really.
Yes, we did. We saunaed and then we jumped in the pool, and it was just so gorgeous. And at night time with the fish and the shadows of the light, it's a real special treat.
It's a bunch of people too. I think we had 10 people in the sauna last night.
Yep.
So just going
jumping
back
into the pool.
In the pool, right? Which wasn't getting used at night previously because it's a bit chilly. Now is a lot. I think it again speaks to the robustness of the overall system, that it can deal with whatever happens during the daytime, but also has no problem with 10 people jumping out of a sauna into the swimming pool.
Exactly. So basically, if you want a swimming pool and you want to thrive with nature, this is a pool, a natural life, living ecosystem that you get to have in your very own backyard. People who basically anywhere that doesn't snow, I'm guessing you can build this type of pool.
I have no experience with it up front.
From the snow.
Disclaimer,
yeah.
Yeah, I live in the tropics most of my life. I see no reason why you can't create a natural pool in a cold, temperate environment, like Canada, for example. I see no reason why. You just want to localize your thinking for the systems that they have, the microbes that are there, which probably largely go to sleep in winter. I'm aware of people who have indoor pools in places like Canada. That's an interesting question about how you would do an indoor natural pool. That's something I haven't really thought about.
Yeah.
But outdoors, I should think you'd still be able to do it.
Yeah. And you can even do it as not just in ground, but you can potentially do above ground with decking, which we've had some people go through the course who have been talking about doing it above ground.
Yep, yeah, sure. Above ground's okay.
Again, it's the 5 principles.
Exactly. Go back to those and make sure that you're sticking with those.
All about.
Once you've done the course, you'll understand.
You can pretty much do anything as long as those 5 principles are maintained.
Yeah.
And also for anyone, so whether you want to do it yourself, you want to take that advantage and maybe bring in a contractor here and there, or whether you just want to buy it and then hand it over to someone to manage, to follow these principles, this is what you can do with this course.
Yeah. I guess that's a point. If you've got someone running your pool for you, you could get them to sit down and do the course.
Yeah, but we can help you in that. That's something that the course actually does, is if you bring in questions, if we get enough of the same question, we'll record some more videos to help answer those questions inside the course. It's constantly being built and added to. The recent videos of fixing the the waterfall system. We're going to be adding that kind of information in. So it's a live system itself that the course is. So you'll get access to all of that.
Which is a good thing, right? I'm just thinking, if there happens to be a pool contractor out there watching one of these videos, I reckon you'd make a great business out of doing this in your area, wherever you are. If you're already building swimming
100%.
pools, I can imagine in Southern California, there must be an awful lot of people who, given the choice, would have a natural swimming pool.
100%.
But someone's got to offer it. Someone's got to get out there and start doing it.
Yeah, so if you're a contractor watching this is such a great opportunity, something to add to your business. Now, finally, I just wanted to ask you, so tell us a bit of a success story of someone who has followed these principles. I mean, I know you've had a few, but tell us about one of the success stories.
I just got a new little video from a client in Colombia, in the hills in Colombia, so quite a rural setting. Their budget was low, got a couple of kids. The lady of the house was the enthusiastic one who worked through the whole process with me. Her husband was quite technical and more of a handyman. He was really doubted the whole thing from day one. And so there was a kind of an ongoing stress, if you like, tension between the woman who wanted to pursue this thing and the guy who really didn't think it was going to work. So he was kind of being brought along reluctantly. And it's not a fancy pool, but it's nice. It's not very big, but it's big enough for the kids to really enjoy. And having seen that process, it was kind of tricky for her. It was even for me a little bit because it's still early days. But in the end, they've got this awesome thing that they love and their kids love and their kids' friends love. And she just recently felt moved to just send me another little video.
Check out what happiness looks like. Huh? This is totally paid for. These kids are having so much fun, enjoying it. I'm having a couple of kids that came to learn to ride horses, and the one thing they liked the most was not the horses but the pool. Look at this, isn't it fun? And this little one over here is snorkeling to see tadpoles. Isn't it funny?
Saying how happy they all are with it. So that's really fun. Because she's got organic gardens and stuff like that. She's it that way. But the husband's very much the other way. So I guess we hope by now we have a conversion of someone who believes it's possible.
That story could be yours. Come join us inside the online masterclass course, where both myself, Norm and I are in there answering your questions, mostly Norm on the technical side of things. But we're there to support you to have this envy of the neighborhood, the modern natural pool in your very own backyard. If you act now, there's a special bonus. So down below this video, there should be a button or a link. You'll start to see what you can do with this online modern natural pool masterclass course. Both Norm and I are inside there to support you on your journey along the way. And you could soon be the envy of the neighborhood. Trust me, I'm over here a lot swimming in this modern natural pool. And it's ready to go for you to learn those 5 basic principles, for the diagrams, all of the stuff that's inside. You'll see it all on the next page. And yeah, we're so excited to see you inside the course.
Yes, come and visit.
Join now. Click below.